Hello, gentlemen. This is Ramana. I hope I'm testing new stuff. I'm broadcasting on all three channels, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenging. Um, you need to bear with me a little bit. Um, I still um, I'm learning these new technologies. That's a very complicated technologies we have. This is yeah. I told you this is there's nothing goes smooth in technology. That's why I created a called entropy. Entropy is uh, technical debt. Actually, it creates a technical debt. So in 1 minute live, it's going to go. We are alive, so it's going to start in 4 more minutes. But it's a new attempt from my side. you know, is going through challenging situations here, but I'm pulling through. It's all your prayers, I think. uh, so to it is we need to have a multi kind of skills nowadays, because if you are good in being a doctor, that's not enough. We are good being a scientist is not enough. You have to know how to communicate. First thing. Second thing is you have to know how to use videos, edit videos. These are all the future ideas that is going to be the future of technology, future of things. So everybody from anywhere in the world, they could be potentially powerful people. They can express their voices. That that's that is a good part about it. Uh, so it is going to be a little bit rough. I'm going to share with you a screen. If anything goes wrong, you bear with me, guys. Please help me out. I really um, need a help in this direction. I hope sometimes I can see what you see, but sometimes I don't know what I see. But I hope you see my screen. Uh, so can you hear me? So it's going to start in 2 minutes. This thing is driving me nuts a little bit. I don't know why, but it is. I'll do my best. That's all I could say that. It is. I am sharing my entire screen. Yeah, I'm going to start in 1 minute, and it is a challenging for me. Please bear with me. And it's technology. So gone those days. To talk and go on stage and talking because of Zoom took over. you know. So we have to be ready for the new kind of technologies. You can do from home what you do on the stage. That's a great thing about the technology, and also same thing. It brings a lot of complexities with it, but it gives the power to real people, real smart people. That's my feeling. That they can express better, and life will be much more, much more interesting. Can you imagine somebody from a, a remote part of the world giving a new ideas, new concepts, how to solve the problems? That is going to be fantastic, right? Um, I hope. Um, my phone dead. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let us start it. Okay. Hey, good morning, India. If you're in India, good afternoon in some other places in England, and almost going to bedtime in the United States in the East Coast, and West Coast is they're about to go to dinner, going to eat dinner. But this is my attempt to broadcast my interesting um, ideas that. I wrote a book. It's called Science is Not a Subject, Science Must Be a Lifestyle. The reason is I did that is the science is so complicated, make it complicated at least. So we need to, you know, bring it down to the common level, a common platform. Medical terminology is written in Latin. A lot of people don't understand it. So I think it's one of the maybe evil ideas that knowledge should be kept around some people. Do you know this? Buddha was a televangelist for that times. He was translating Hinduism into all the languages. He speaks regular language than Sanskrit, Hindu original language. But that's the reason they were upset. The Hindus upset, and they literally kicked out the Buddhism from India because of that reason. So he thinks that he's diluting the Hindu knowledge, Hindu sacred religion to everybody. But I'm on the Buddha side. I think knowledge should be belong to the democracy works in knowledge. I believe it is the best way to do it. But anyway, in this book I wrote about India's Nobel Prize winners. I'm from India, so I'm a little biased. Sorry, but I did a lot of other scientists around the world, but this is the one for Sunday. I thought it's a good topic to talk about it. So we don't even know what they did. Most of the people, within outside of their subjects, they don't know what Indian Nobel Prize winners did. So I thought about it, right? Understand whatever I can understand it, even if it's not my field. I try to do that. I have a master's in physics, and I did not complete, but I did attended a lot of classes in nuclear engineering and the computer science. So I have a broad background, and I spent almost 30 years in healthcare industry. From providing the diagnostic services to all the way to physician recruitment, diagnostic services, and designing the workflows for the radiology and cardiology. So I have extensive experience in that area. But anyway, let us talk about the topic today is India's Nobel Prize winners. India is a center of civilization, center of education for a long time. But before I do, I want to shout out to Dr. Matthias. Matthias today is a chief medical officer for GE, General Electric. He gave a compliment to my article. So he declared it today with his along with his Rad Tech is a Rad Tech Day. So I congratulate him. That is a really they are most under one of those Rad Techs are the most underappreciated people among healthcare professionals. So I think thank you, Dr. Matthias. Really, it is appreciated. I have written an article about Mary Curie, so they that was he complimented on that. Thank you so much, and it is an honor to have you. Then I wanted to bring several people in the future broadcasts. I want to bring different people from different parts of the world, and bring a different perspective on healthcare problems and in the overall science itself. Okay, let us talk about Nobel Prize. India is a center of civilization for a long time, but we don't have too many Nobel Prize winners. Strangely, why? Because the basic research was, like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, we left the basic research. Then we went into this whistles and buzzles of technology. But basic research is the fundamental backbone of any country. If you want to be really in the forefront, that's why Russia and America are always in the forefront of that kind of things. Their basic research is solid. But anyway, we have five people to celebrate the Nobel Prize winners. I'm going to give you first one, Nobel Prize winner Venki Ramakrishnan, Venkat Ramakrishnan. I think I have my middle name is Venkat. Is so I'm not going to talk about Wikipedia stuff. I want to go straight into what they did. Is is a is got a Nobel Prize in chemistry in 2009, but he did a PhD and masters in physics and PhD in physics. He's a physics graduate like me, so he is a fellow physics alumni. So I really appreciate that. Physics people have a little bias towards physics people. I think physics is the mother of all sciences. you know, so that's a bias is there. But he's born in Chidambaram, Tamil Nadu. That we hear a lot about mRNA vaccines. mRNA vaccines, what there is mRNA is a messenger RNA, is RNA, DNA are the two parts of our constituents of genetic language. So RNA is the actually life generator. It creates life actually. So messenger RNA takes the information from a messenger RNA, carries the information, genetic information, to the ribosome, a cellular particle ribosome. It made up of itself is the RNA and the proteins. But this cellular particle, what it does is, so mRNA takes to the information to the cellular particle ribosome. Ribosome reads all the information and produces the protein. A synthesizer, it produces the proteins. That's what Venki Ramakrishnan did. We didn't know until recently the structure of the ribosome. We don't know where exactly the structure means, where the atoms are, carbon, all hydrogen atoms, oxygen, all of the atoms are. We don't know where the locations of those atoms are in the structure. I mean, understand, is a quantum side is the location is a funny thing, but it is a basically high probability locations they're talking about. So what you use X-ray crystallography and neutron diffraction. X-ray crystallography, what they do is they take a vivo a sample of a cell and then freeze it into the coldest temperature. It becomes a crystal. Then you can go through you put X-rays or lasers or whatever you do, X-rays for example here in this case, to get the information about that structure itself. So that's how they find out where the so it's not that straightforward. It's much more complicated. That's why he won the Nobel Prize. By the way, his mother went to McGill in Canada, where I went to McGill in Concordia University. So his father was probably his mother knows my family members. Some of the up in Montreal used to be. But anyway, that Venki Ramakrishnan won the Nobel Prize for this. So he made a tremendous contribution to the the future vaccines. Because if you understand the ribosome RNA, how they read it, how it reads and synthesize the proteins, ribosome is like a superheroes of the body. So that's what he discovered, the structure of the ribosome. They call him, that's why, ribosome reader. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about. The next one is from India. His name is Aragobind Khurana. He is a Punjabi gentleman. He is from he was born in British India, in the Pakistan side, West Punjab, in Raipur, a place. That's a very Indian name, but it is on the West Punjab side. That's now it's a part of Pakistan. Before India's split between the Pakistan and India, he won the Nobel Prize in 1968. He won the Nobel Prize for the oligonucleotides. What he did was he first synthesized the genes in the lab. He is the first one. They call him father of chemical biology. So he first synthesized the parts of RNA in the lab. So that's called oligonucleotides. So now, without that, there was no way we could have invented the vaccine you can invented the medicine vaccine for our coronavirus. his contributions are tremendous. In that sense, is is most underrated. But nobody, even Indians, don't know a lot of Indians about his contributions. He was the first. He won the Nobel Prize in medicine. Um, Venki Ramakrishnan supposed to be in medicine, but they awarded him in chemistry. But the for Aragovinda Karano is used. Got a Nobel Prize in medicine. Actually, he's a PhD in biochemistry and all those things, but he's not. He's not a doctor. But they are using a CRISPR. A CRISPR is a gene editing tool. Gene editing tool is, or nowadays, is getting very popular. So you can repair a genetic diseases through gene editing. It's almost you can do from your back from the garage almost. So people are buying these CRISPR kits to change the dogs and dogs composition and all those things. But it's kind of scary, how it's going to turn into. A lot of medical ethics are involved, and we have to be careful about that. And so the oligonucleotides, the first time synthesize the DNA, RNA, the strands. So that is a humongous breakthrough in the medicine, in fact. So now you can produce so many. You can order on Amazon. Actually, you can order these DNA synthetic DNA from any place nowadays. So Venki Ramakrishnan probably did got benefit from Aragovinda Karano. Uh, so my daughter is calling. um, I think maybe I messed up my broadcast. I don't know. So she wants me. Hey Lina, I'm in the middle of the broadcast. Can I go there, or can you see me, Lina? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. My daughter wants to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong. The next one is C.V. Raman. Sorry, the next one is C.V. Raman. Um, I'm going in chronological order. C.V. Raman discovery is mind blowing. In fact, his discovery is everywhere, every aspect of science, engineering, medicine, name it, theology. He was almost pervading in every aspect, omnipresent in every field. C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman is 19. His father was a professor in my college, in my university, on the university. But in 1930, he discovered called Raman spectroscopy. Raman Raman scattering is called. What is a scattering is? Raman scattering is when you. Yeah, Lena. I hope I am not. Hello, Lena. I'm in the middle of the broadcast. Okay, congratulations. I'm happy for you. She got engagement rings, ladies and gentlemen. My daughter. Yeah. Congratulations. You say hello to Viri. Thanks. Bye. It's a good day. My daughter got the engagement ring. I'm announcing to the public entire world. But anyway, um, happy day for her. We wish her all the best. She's in California. She's in San Francisco. She's a data analyst for a company. She used to work for CNN. But anyway, let's move on to the Raman spectroscopy. Raman spectroscopy is a really fantastic invention in my view. So, if you suppose you right now, if you wanted to know how do you, if I see an apple, can you, without cutting it, without smelling it, is it rotten or not? Can you tell? There is no way you can tell any other way other than a Raman spectroscopy. That's very interesting, right? The Raman spectroscopy is the only way you can, without touching it, you can tell something is rotten or not. So what it is that, when light falls on, the reason you could able to see me, or you could see able to see your family members or anybody, that because the light falls on them and reflects back to their eyes, and then that's what they most of the reflection 99.99999% is reflected. It reflects back from when people see it. But some parts of a small light interacts with the cells in our body, and then they give a if you then interact and then emit the lower version of they emit a different kind of a photon, different frequency. So that is you catch it through the spectral analysis, vibrational and rotational spectrums. You can catch and analyze the cells. So if I take a picture of somebody walking by, and then I can, by analyzing the spectral analysis of the vibrational rotational spectrum, if they have a cancer or not. It's scary, but it is very useful, right? So that is what he invented. So in the future, I'm pretty sure you could go to walk into the any pharmacy, and then you see that somebody take a picture and then can tell you have cancer or not. That easy is going to be at least certain cancers. Um, that's going to be the future, in fact. So the reason was he was not a popular in the beginning when he was alive, because in the medical field. The reason was that the scattering that comes from the bodies is not that strong, so that's why they did not pay attention to it. That was a big problem, in fact. So what he did was, now we have the lasers, we have ultraviolet rays, and we have different kind of things. We could use it and then get the better information about reflected material, reflected scattering, Raman scattering. A particular scattering is a rotational vibrational spectrum. You can read it from there. So with that, you can say chemical composition, how they're functioning of the the living particles, how they're living cells, how they're functioning. So you can compare the normal cell library with the rotational spectrum of the reflected material, reflected spectrum. Then compare and see how what kind of a deviation is there, and you say if it is not a normal or not. You will know immediately. So not only that, that's right now Raman spectroscopy they use in the sorry, in the on the labs, or like the Vanderbilt and Stanford and other universities use it to counter the surgical procedure, because when they see cancer spreads, you can give a gold nanoparticles to injection gold nanoparticles, and bio is a bio function is that it attaches to the particles, the cellular cells, the gold nanoparticles. Then you can push a light on shed a light on it, and then it reflects it back, and you will know exactly where each cell. There is no way any cell can hide from this procedure. So you could hunt and with a precision you can hunt it, and then you remove it from the. So that is the greatest tool for the surgeons, particularly when you're doing a cancer surgeries. So then diagnostic imaging said that is one of the 10 times more powerful than in the medicine. To for any diagnostic imaging is better than any PET CT scan or anything that you think. It is 10 times more powerful if all that comes in the picture soon. So I think it is a fantastic invention by the discovery by Raman. He won the Nobel Prize in 1930. He got awarded. He got united by Queen of England, Sir, along with Venki Ramakrishnan. Both of them got Sir. Is knighted by Queen Elizabeth. So the thing is that the C.V. Raman, now they're looking for life in Mars. They are looking for life in Mars. So through the through the Raman spectroscopy, because you can easily find out the any life, biological life is there, easy to find out through Raman spectroscopy. Right now, Perseverance rover carries the Raman spectrometer to find out the life in the life on Mars. So it is a then the most interesting thing, Raman spectroscopy is used to restore the church's architecture. There were no pictures. There is a church in the Cantabrian Mountains in Spain. They in the 13th century, that church was, because of the rituals, it is degraded into So it didn't know the original architecture, original colors, what kind of architecture they have, what kind of colors they have. They didn't know. So only way you can find out to restore the original format is through the Raman spectroscopy. So it goes to the atomic structure, that the vibrational rotational spectrum, and find out the original colors of the architecture. So that's they restored back. So not only one church, several churches were restored through the Raman spectroscopy. Even though he's a Hindu, he saved a lot of churches through saved a lot of churches. So that's his contribution. Raman spectroscopy is everywhere. Then his nephew, the nephew was um, um, the nephew was his name is Chandrasekhar Subramanian. He was born in Lahore, Pakistan. Again, even though he's from South Tamil Nadu, his parents are from Tamil Nadu. He was on a diplomat mission in British India. He was born there, and then eventually spent some time in England, and then moved to Canada, and then eventually moved to States. In the University of He became a professor in the University of Chicago. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1983 for a discovery of the Chandrasekhar limit. It's called. So when the when the gravity, and what Einstein, according to Einstein, when the gravity, when the massive objects, when the gravity becomes huge, like 1.44 solar masses, it cannot sustain the gravity, pulls it back to the center, and it pulls it back all the way to the then it follows the supernovae and then becomes a black hole, um, or neutron star. So the 1.44 solar masses is the limit you got to have before it becomes a black hole. So that's a limit. His name is a name named after him. It's called Chandrasekhar limit. So he was the black holes are very strange objects. It's Even though when Einstein was through his equations, they found the black holes can exist. He did not believe himself. His own equations, the outcome of his own equations, he did not believe the black holes. Black holes are mystic objects, even though the science is very simpler, very extremely simpler. But the function of it and the mystery behind it is extremely complicated, and it's very integrating. In fact, suppose where if you're somebody is falling on the for example, I'll give you some black hole tidbit. If somebody is falling on the black hole, is a black hole complementarity principle. They can at the event horizon, that's where that you cannot come back from that horizon. So that's once you pass that, once you that's no way I know that you exist or not. Everything about you is gone. But the new physics says that before in the event horizon, there is a firewalls, they burn you into the ashes. So so you can literally see, if you are an observer, probably you could see the ashes and pick it up, in hypothetical, but it is giving you thought. But the strange part is that for you as a person, you don't feel anything. You continue to go inside the black hole without any knowing anything. So which is true, is that you're alive or dead. That is a complementarity. You're both alive and dead. So that is the funny thing about the black hole physics. Just I want to give you an interesting point, but you do all your own research on that one. So what that's black holes, Chandrasekhar is a very important part of the black holes. So Chandrasekhar, X-ray, NASA gave one of the so the way we find the objects in the universe are through the telescopes, right? Through the different mechanisms. This is electromagnetic spectrum. So when you see a star through visible light, so with the eyes can catch visible lights. But ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, in between, you cannot catch microwaves. You cannot catch radio waves. So you have to have a different detectors for that. So one of the detectors is X-ray observatory. Some of these stars, some of the near black holes, they emit X-rays actually. So those X-rays you can catch through Chandra, the observatory, X-ray observatory, named after him. His name, X-ray observatory. If you see a movie called 2010 or 2000, it came in 1900, 1950 or 70s. It is a popular movie. It's all about a very classic sci-fi movie. In that movie, and there is a computer in the spaceship. There was a computer. It named it Chandra. He calls it Chandra. So they named after he. In fact, they put his name there. So it's very the observatory, X-ray observatory, named after him, Chandra Observatory. That's a black hole picture you can see. So there is another one. Then the that is Dr. Ronald Ross. He was born in Almore, Uttarakhand. He is a British in origin, but he was born in India. In the uh, he won the Nobel Prize in 1902. He was all over India. His parents are from India. He was born in India. He worked for the Indian Medical Services. In fact, he was an employee of the Indian Medical Services. So he started. His research was mosquito, the malaria transmission. He's the first one to recognize the malaria transmission through mosquitoes and among the birds. In fact, the so he won the Nobel Prize for that. People don't know. I consider him as Indian because he spent most of his life in India, in Secunderabad, Hyderabad, and he was in Calcutta, he was in Assam. Even his drawings are now a museum, kind of a small museum, and displayed in the tea hospital in Assam. You know, so if you go there, please send some pictures. So he won the Nobel Prize. So there are several nominees. I want to tell you one important person they ignored a Nobel Prize continuously. He would have got the four Nobel Prizes. That is Yella Pragada Subbarao. I will talk with him about it in a later about him. His contributions are tremendous. That was a pure discriminatory aspects of by during the time. He was a truly innovator, and he deserved. He was not even. I don't know whether he was even nominated for the Nobel Prize. It is sad. I'll talk about him in some other broadcast. But here, the important people that I want to talk about is the next nominees. The known very well known nominees in all my subjects at this time. I'm talking about Nobel Prize winners in science and medicine, not about poetry. Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize in the poetry, but I'm not talking about the economics. I didn't talk about anything. I did talk only in science and medicine. That's only. So that's where I focus was my the book itself. Science is not a subject. Science must be a lifestyle. Is focus of science and medicine. So, see, Satyendranath Bose, through his very interesting phenomena, he did this statistics. He invented a new kind of mathematics called statistics. It's called Bose-Einstein statistics. Funny way. Statistics is that what he found out, if you flip, if you by mistake, if you took a coin in both head and tail, or both two heads of the same coin as two heads by mistake, he ended up in a different kind of results. That results he was talking about, that it produced um, a new kind of phenomena. He produced it. That is so when he found out this discovery, it's what the discovery is when you have a gas molecules, or the photons, or even anything. When they get together, they lose their identity, and they act like a one system, one quantum system. For example, all the photons get together, acts like a not individual photons. They act like a more of a one quantum singular quantum system, like you see in the football or cricket stadium. They do waving, people waving. The waving is look like a wall one synchronizer waving, right? So they all look like, even though they are individual human beings, they all synchronized waving. That's what the effect is. You see the effect of quantum effect, that kind of a wave. That is the effect you get in the quantum system. That's his discovery was a phenomenal in the science, and his publication was rejected several times. So what he did was he sent his publication to to Albert Einstein, and Albert Einstein liked it. So he tagged his just put his name. He lent his name. Basically, he added a little bit more about the photons, and he did something. Definitely, Albert Einstein is a legendary man, legendary scientist. He was already famous by then. So what he did was he did um, the Higgs. So the particles or the one of the results is that that resulted in the Bose-Einstein statistics is called. Is a different kind of branch of mathematics that then there was a material. The phenomena resulted in the physical aspect of that is Bose-Einstein condensate. It's a very peculiar matter. There are four known states of matter, right? That's a liquid, gas, the liquid, gas, solid, and plasma. And the fifth one is Bose-Einstein condensate. That is a strange name, but it is what the fifth state of matter. It's a strange, peculiar matter. It behaves very strange when you. So the way the phenomena was that this state of matter exists, and theoretically that with his mathematics he proved there exists a matter that is a fifth state of matter. After his passing, after 75 years after passing in the University of Denver, Colorado, what they did was they invented the actual Bose-Einstein condensate. All three of them, Catterall and three other scientists in the Denver, they won the Nobel Prize for that. They first time they came up with the Bose-Einstein condensate matter. So they produced the Bose-Einstein condensate. It has a tremendous application. Still, we are in the beginning stages of that applications. Bose-Einstein condensate. They use in the International Space Station to study about endothelium functions. Endothelium is a skin wrapped around. It's like a wrap. Is around all the entire body. Is a largest organ. If people don't know that, the largest organ in the body is the endothelium. But the endothelium functions are mysterious a little bit. It has its own brain, in a sense. So they want to study, but because of the gravity, endothelium cells get flattened out. You cannot. So you can't see them in three-dimensional structure. So the only way in the zero gravity situation you can study in the International Space Station through Bose-Einstein condensate. They immerse in the Bose-Einstein condensate. They can do that. They can read that. So his contributions are tremendous. He was nominated several times, but he did not win. He deserved. Higgs boson, God's particle. They say recently, they found out one of the standard model of particles, Higgs boson. Boson is named after him. Bosons are a integer spin a particular particles. Bosons and fermions are two classifications of particles. Bosons are they're like they can stay in the all of together. They can coexist in the same state, like a puppies. Like the but the but the but the fermions are like a cat. The stray cats. If they don't like each other, they don't like each other. So that's Pauli's exclusion principle says that when you fall from a tree, the people, when you get hurt, the pain is not from the gravity, it is actually electromagnetic. In Pauli's exclusion principle, the electrons in your body violently repelling because they cannot be in the same state. Fermions don't allow two electrons to be in the same state. So they violently repel, and that's what it causes the pain. So it is electromagnetic radiation is causing the pain. That was the invention of the Bose-Einstein. That's named as a bosons. So his name was given by Paul Dirac, another legendary scientist, gave a name for bosons, which are the particles that they coexist in same state. Now, the next one, Jagdish Chandra Bose. When I was a kid, I was reading about him, studying about him, and he's a polymath. In the polymaths are people who knows several subjects: botany, chemistry, astronomy, astrology, all kinds of things. We don't have anymore, unfortunately. He was born in Bangladesh, in birthplace is Bangladesh, but he is a British Indian in British India. Um, He was inventor. He was recognizing. He recognized the first time the plants can uh, transmit electrical signals. That's what his invention was. Then he did quite a bit of contributions to the Wi-Fi and wireless communications, radio radio communications, but he did not win the Nobel Prize. But he was nominated, and then he met actually the guy who invented the radio wireless communication is a Marconi from Italy. He met him in person. So Jagdish Chandra Bose is a very legendary figure in the science of medicine in India. Then the next one, J.N. Ramachandran, is from Kerala, Ernakulam, Kerala. Protein folding is a complex folding. When you he, he did a lot of protein folding. He did this. It's a complicated protein folding is one of the most the challenging aspects. Google said that they solved it recently. I'm not sure. Protein folding is exponential numbers. It runs the when I give you an analogy. When your wife drops the jewelry in the jewelry box, you take a necklace and drop it in the jewelry box. The pattern it falls in. If you want to get the same pattern exactly, you know how long it takes. Human mind cannot grasp. It may take a billion years. Still, you will not reach half the way to the exact pattern because we are our minds are not made for that kind of a huge numbers. So protein folding is a complex one. People have been trying protein folding for a long time. Actually, spike proteins is one of the challenging things. The spike proteins. So without the Ramanujan, another gentleman, another from Tamil Nadu, invented this mathematics. Ramanujan, some I'll talk about him in the future podcast. But protein folding is very vital to discovering all the problems in the vaccines and other things. So he did quite a bit of contributions in the protein folding. The next is E.C. George Sudarshan. Sudarshan is in the United States. He's in Austin. Teaches physics there. Still alive. I think he's one of the few people alive. One or two people. Most of the people, uh, you know, um, but anyway, is Pallam. I don't know Pallam, Kerala. I don't know where it is exactly, but it's a phantom particle called a tachyon. It's like when Einstein came up with the quantum entanglement, two particles can affect each other even a billion miles away from each other. It's like two twins feeling each other even if they are two different continents. Similar thing in physics, they found is quantum entanglement. They affect each other. So, but there is no communication between them. There is no way they can communicate billion miles instantly. But the effect on each other is instant. So then some people believed that there is a particle called a tachyon which goes faster than speed of light, which is speed of light is the limit. You cannot go faster than speed of light, but that there are some scientists who believed in it. Tachyons can go faster than speed of light. So he was the first guy. He gave a hypothesis on on the um, on the on the tachyons. Okay, so if I get a brain freeze, I'll let you know. So the tachyons are still is very controversial, but it is one of the important ones people study. The next one is Megan. We did not. Megan Saha is the next one. And he's also in Calcutta. Calcutta is a producer of several eminent scientists because it was the capital of Britain, England. So that's a British India. It was a capital. So there's a lot of people came. He's from Dhaka. Um, he was in spectral analysis because if you want to learn about it, the spectral analysis, if you get the light from the stars, you can through the spectrum mass spectroscopy, you can decide what kind of a materials that star has with the spectral analysis. You can sit down in your home and then you can say that what kind of a chemical composition all the stars have. That is a powerful analysis, but he did not win. He was nominated. Then is CNR Rao. He's from Bangalore. Is his invention is a two liquid nitrogen, and he contributions for. He did not invent all of them, but he made a tremendous contributions for the invention of liquid nitrogen and the carbon nanotubes. Nitrogen is now cryogenic. All the cryogenics use liquid nitrogen. You know, um, you know, say to my friends, I have a, I used to run an imaging center in downtown Atlanta, and there was a next door the sperm bank used to be there. The people come before they go to war. They come and store their sperm and liquid nitrogen. They used to store in the liquid nitrogen tanks. Next door was interesting. That so you can store the liquid nitrogen 1,000 years. You can have babies up to 1,000 years. That is a strange about the sea monkeys, for example. You can put in the liquid nitrogen and bring it back after 1,000 years. They're dead, and then you put a water on it, and they come alive. You know, so they're eternal in that sense. So he did a contribution to the liquid nitrogen. Carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes are, they one time, and this is a Elon Musk kind of idea. They want to build a elevator to the space, a real elevator. So through carbon nanotubes, you can sit down there. The elevator goes all the way to carbon nanotubes are thin, the most strongest material. It is almost a atomic thin size actually. So it is the strongest material. You can grab it, the graphene. It made through graphene. So that was the idea. You can build through. The idea was real. Actually, a lot of people pursued that. To build a shaft to all the way to the all. Some people said that to the moon. In fact, to the so that's a carbon nanotubes. The next one is The next one is Upendranath Brahmachari. Is a skin disease that I don't know much about this disease. The dermal diseases that in India, particularly in the tropical areas, it comes there. Somebody mentioned to me. I'm not familiar with this name itself, but that's a very quite. She did a contribution. She's the only woman from India. Sorry, she's not the one. Sorry, he's not he's the guy. So he contributed in the medicine, but he was nominated for the medicine Nobel Prize for medicine. He did not win, but he was nominated. T.R. Seshadri is another gentleman that he is from Tamil Nadu again. Tamil Nadu produced stalwarts of the intelligent people from India. Um, he got the highest civilian award, Padma Bhushan, Vibhushan. Um, he invented some of the oxygen heterocyclics. They're all congestive heart failure. They use it still. They use it. He did a lot of work in the plant chemistry. His contributions are more of administrative side. He was my former, not my professor, but my previous, my senior, much senior colleagues, professor in Department of Chemistry in Andhra University. So he spent a lot of his time in Andhra University in my home university. So he was nominated. Um, then the next one is Asima Chatterjee. She's that she did birthplace is Calcutta again. That she's the only woman among all the nominees or winners from India. We need more actually. She did a lot of work on the alkaloids and morphine and quinine. These are the cocaine used to be used as a pain drug in the past. These are the drugs that used for the painkillers basically. So she made a lot of contributions there, and um, somebody can give us some more information about it. The next is Homi Baba. There was a atomic research center in India. If you want nuclear medicine material isotopes, you have to in India you have to go through a Baba Atomic Research Institute Research Center, BOT they call. It is near Mumbai. It is located near Mumbai. So his contributions is a cosmic rays. These are the cosmic rays coming from mysterious places sometimes, I think, but it's actually from the quasars and coming from the near the black holes. The kind of cosmic rays or origins are still kind of mysterious, but when they come, is interactions in the with the Earth's atmosphere. That was Earth's atmosphere. Um, that's what he found it. So, for example, muons is one of the particles that, the Einstein's relativity was time dilation was practically examined, practically validated through the muons, through the particle muons. So so India named after him, named after the Bark is named after him, Baba Atomic Research Center. I got a job there, but I did not take it. So these are the people that you think. So what I did was, I wanted to create science and medicine awareness. So, oh yeah, one more thing is, yeah, I want to tell you. I will be talking about, definitely, about the Yellapakada Subbarao. His contributions to the medicine is tremendous. He is from Harvard, but it itself is a own topic. I'll talk about it. But anyway, I produce. We want to popularize these people. Their contributions. These Without these people, uh, would not have been anyway closer to the what we are today. Basic research is a fundamental thing. It's important. India should must allocate resources to the basic research. Technology come and go, because technology can accelerate, just Murphy's law. It can, if you whatever you are using now, it can be invalidated within 5 to 10 years. But science is a fundamental. Science is, it cannot go. You see, all these scientists, what they did discover, still we are using it today. We are using a different technology, sophisticated tools with the technology, but the science is solid. So we produce the t-shirts and the coffee cups, and you can go to the website medbricks.com. You can buy a book. I've written a book on it, and then you can buy um, a coffee mug or a t-shirt, or appreciate anything that support this kind of a our history. That then people really, you don't know which one you get inspire them. Your children or somebody from a village, you can inspire if you give a t-shirt like this, or if you give a coffee mug, or if you give a some kind of a thing, placing on them, and then give it to them, is just a very great gift. You can have it. You can give it to your friends, colleagues, children. It is a truly inspirational. As a, so India contributed several. That's why we have shastras in India's Vedas. They have extensive knowledge in the medicine science. Um, so we cannot ignore all these people, their contributions. We have to remind us the West, Raman spectroscopy. How many people we know that Raman spectroscopy is being used in right now at present in Mars? Because that's a lack of not knowing India, being an Indian, not knowing that is kind of a sad. I think we should really inspire next generation of Indians, and then present ourselves, to promote these materials. So buy, if you can appreciate, if you buy these materials, you can have pillows, you can have coffee cups and teacups from my website. It's called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can go directly there, or you dailywearformedicine.com. You can buy on Amazon, Etsy, Amazon. You can buy on. We are available on all of them. Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know whether I can see the questions or not, but I'm doing my best, and it is interesting. I This is a, if anything it technically goes wrong, anything went wrong, um, I I would ask your forgiveness. That's all I can say. But I hope you all participate in this. Every day I want to do something. This is my contribution to life. It makes sense. It's not. We are. We became, more and more. We became selfish, in a sense that, we have to. We have to really. It's not what is the drum self drums. How much I did for myself, how much we do for others, how much of this. Without those scientists, we could not be here at this time. So that is a keep in mind. That is what the selfless service of the scientists created the present India, modern India. So we need to promote it. And thank you so much for joining with me. I'm super excited about this broadcast, and I will do my best. Join with me, please. Open to contributions and criticisms. I'm completely open to it. This is an informal discussion in the nighttime in the United States. It's kind of a talk about just general subjects, but it is a. I hope it is inspiring you in a certain way. Thank you so much. Bye.